Hello, everyone. This is Caleb Hale with the SIU Alumni Association. We are here today with another SIU Alumni live chat at noon. This is where we take some time to get alumni familiar with a different aspect of campus or something that's going on. Wanted to point out a couple of things. We do have some events coming up. We have put on sale our SIU Day at Wrigley and SIU Day at Busch Stadium events. Those are now on sale. You can check those out on our website under the events section, or you could visit any of our social media pages and find links to it out there. So please do that. We've got those events and a number of other things happening. So we're pretty much back in full effect with a lot of our in-person events. So we hope to see you at one of them here soon. My guest today is H.D. Motel, who is the Associate Dean of College or of the College of Arts and Media. And if you are alumni of a certain age, you probably are asking, well, what is the College of Arts and Media? And HG is here to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about that, and also about the CamFest that we'll be talking about later on. HG, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you, Caleb, for the invitation. I'm always happy to talk about our new college. And if you're a person of a certain age, means like if you were before July 1st.
If you're a certain age, and that's a good catch-all term for a politically correct term.
So we are the newest college on the campus, and part of the reorganization and kind of the end of the reorganization. Our college consists of it's actually the faculty came together from 3 different colleges in 6 different units to form this new college. So we had I'm originally from the Department of Radio, Television, Digital Media, and cinema and journalism were all in the Mass Communication and Media Arts College. So it was those 3. Then we had from College of Liberal Arts, Art and Design, journalism, Art and Design, Music, Theater, and Dance, and that's it. So those came from COLA, and then finally the School of Architecture came from the Health and Human Services. So right now the College of Arts and Media, that we affectionately call CAM, hashtag CAMtastic, is architecture, art and design, journalism, media arts, music, and theater and dance. Theater and dance became it was the Department of Theater, became the School of Theater and Dance. The School of Media Arts is both the cinema program and degree right now, and radio television degree. We're actually working in that unit to create a media arts degree with those specializations underneath it. So that's what the college is, basically. And I'm the associate dean of the college. I do a lot of the grunt work, if you will, of the college and keeping the college running. One thing that we always wanted to do when we started thinking about this college was collaborate between one another amongst all of the colleges, all the schools working together, and even working outside the colleges. And we're doing that. You know, for instance, I actually went into a class in theater to teach on-camera directing. And I know one of my other colleagues from cinema went into a different theater acting class to teach that this semester. And Rob Spar, who is the director of the School of Media Arts, was collaborating with somebody from art and design. So with a lot of those collaborations had already started, and we're continuing to grow those. But growing out of that, kind of maturing out of that, is CamFest. And CAM is College of Arts and Media, obviously, festival. And the CamFest is what we're calling a celebration of arts and ideas. So that while we are a creative college, mainly, we do have scholars who look at this work. There's art history in art and design. There's media studies in media arts. And journalism isn't considered an art like you normally think of it. So this Camp Fest was to celebrate not only the work of the faculty, but the work of the students, if there's work of the staff is doing, and to kind of highlight it on campus. The whole purpose of becoming one college is that we would work together and that we would, uh, celebrate one another. So that's what this Camp Fest is all about. We actually have. We are working with people outside the college. Mainly, the events are within the college. For instance, last night we did what's called the Little Muddy Showcase. And it was, we have the Big Muddy Film Festival in the cinema department, which is films from outside the university. The Little Muddy Film Festival is our student work. And it really is, we call it a film festival. We're trying to get it used to saying media festival because we're really using whatever students produce. So it could be an audio project, it could be still art, it could be still photography, it could be 2D art, it could be videos or films, all of the animation, all of those are encompassed and they're in part of that festival. So that's one part of it, to highlight student work. But tonight, for instance, there's a concert in the School of Music, a special concert for CampFest that is called Treasures of Gold and Ebony. It's music for piano and flute. So two faculty members, Doug Worthen and Chunghwa Lee, are going to be playing together these various works to kind of showcase their talents and how they collaborate within their own school. So there's a lot of those kind of special events. There was a media arts faculty showcase on Monday night. There is a exhibition of student work within fashion design, interior design, and architecture in the School of Architecture galleries that begins on Thursday and runs for an entire week. And kind of the centerpiece of this whole Camp Fest is on Thursday night. On Thursday night is going to be a kind of TED Talks or lightning talks about what is truth. So faculty from across campus, from the humanities, from the arts, from the sciences, will talk for 7 minutes about truth and what it means in their own work or what it means in the world, however they want to talk about truth. And then there will be a panel of also from people from across campus who will interact with them afterwards. So, and then it goes on. By the end of the month, there are two big events. It's concentrated in 1 week, Camp Fest, but it really goes on to the end of the month. There's a fashion show on the 21st, and then there's the main stage production for the School of Theater and Dance, a musical comedy called Lucky Stiff.
And I think the important thing about this particular show this year is just to introduce not just the concept of the college itself, but also the breadth of
Yes.
professions or vocations that are encompassed now under this new college, because you do have a wide gamut of stuff that's available.
Yes.
And I think and we had a comment there earlier or come through here just a little bit ago that I think this new college allows for a lot more interdisciplinary collaboration on stuff and presents some opportunities that perhaps weren't there before, just by virtue of these different areas of study and being separated by different colleges and schools.
Yeah. I mean, it could always be done, but it was a little more difficult. This way, we're all of the same mindset. It's our goal to do this interdisciplinarity to achieve that, and so that it's much easier, even in just the way people are thinking about breaking down barriers and working with one another.
Tell me about the process of this change of kind of pulling these colleges together. What has happened? Is there any sort of change that the students notice on this one, or is it all pretty seamless from one end to the other?
Right now, they wouldn't see any change because they're all still in their own units. However, we are beginning to change things like University 101, which is a course that's required of all freshmen and when they come in, or first term students, because even transfer students take it. is we're making that more holistic to the college so that it's going not just within the units, it's going to be more about the college so that students start thinking from their first day about the college and the different disciplines in the college. So that's one thing. We also had a curriculum committee that worked this year to look at a possible core curriculum for the college so that we would I hate to say the word force, but we would encourage strongly the students to look at these other disciplines and to take courses in those other disciplines. So somebody in architecture might be suddenly interested in cinema and how video could work in their designs. Certainly an interior designer should think about those things. So, and whatever, or how ambient music might be used in their architecture. So that's what we're kind of hoping. We foment that, and then it comes to fruition at some point.
And we definitely live in a multimedia age where you can't necessarily be so pigeonholed into one thing. Take it from a former print journalist who's sitting here at his desk with his own
Right.
studio setup and live stream thing. That there's a lot of different skill sets
Mm-hmm.
that are needed just because there are a lot of different avenues that people have access to these days to self-publish work or to self-promote or to get things distributed out there. So yeah, I think this is a good way to open up those avenues, and also I think there's some degree of literacy that's needed. This kind of media
Absolutely.
literacy that people need, and that's not just it kind of gets pigeonholed or it kind of gets stuck in this. Well, we have to learn to recognize the good information from the bad information
Yes.
that's available out there. However, it goes beyond that as well. There's a certain degree of literacy about arts, culture, how that plays out
Mm-hmm.
in media,
Mm-hmm.
in architecture, and anything else.
Right.
That I think if you want to be a well-rounded student of this in this area, you should at least be aware
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. I think that one of the what I thought of when you were talking about that is like branding, right? So now we always talk about what's your brand or how are you branding yourself?
Right,
And that's social media. But how are you posting something? So how are you composing a photograph? Or how are you composing? What are you designing, and how are you designing that little Instagram square, right? So
right,
that is all skills that we have in the college, but it's across the college. It's like how do we can talk about in media arts. We can talk about my home school, which is why I keep calling it we. But we could talk about it, how to edit something and to edit persuasively. But there are persuasive ways that the designers in art design do things. There are persuasive ways, in architecture, you're leading people through buildings,
yeah.
right? That's your design to do that.
Right. And when you think about a lot of media has been democratized nowadays just by virtue of these things that everyone
Yeah,
carries around with
yeah,
them. Um, but you give me a hammer, I'm not going to be able to build you a house.
right.
And that's the same way with everyone else. Everyone
Yep.
has the tools to do that, but they don't necessarily have the skills
Mhm.
with which to do it. And
Absolutely.
that's kind of part of what I think. I think that was probably a lot of the driving philosophy, besides putting these types of studies together
Hmm.
in the first place.
Right.
Tell me about for alumni, though. Obviously, they can. Where can they kind of check out the highlights of CamFest that's going?
Well, that you had the website up, and it's at cam.siu.edu/camfest. So that would have the highlights of that. Or so it's cam.siu.edu/camfest. If you wrote to cam@siu.edu, I or our recruitment and retention coordinator will get that email, and we can send a schedule out to you. And that's a way to also be in touch with us. If you wanted, for instance, we would love if interns. We would love if alumni offered internships, because we have students always looking for internships. But to come back and speak, even nowadays we're so used to Zoom that we often have visiting artists that don't come to campus anymore. That they're just doing Zoom meetings. or on teams. So if you alums have some expertise or some, some new work that they've done that they're proud of and want to show off to the students now, our current students, we'd be happy to highlight that and to have you come back to campus or come back through Zoom to talk to the students. We know how important that connection is. We know that the life experience is really important, and it's only the alums that can help, like talking about those roads out of SIU. And and we're all here trying to help each other. We all want to scratch each other's back, right? And that's one way alums can give back and scratch the backs um, of the new students, the current students, before they go out into the world. So we're always looking for those kind of synergies and collaborations also.
And what kind of opportunities, like there's student jobs or internships or things within the college? What kinds of things have been developed because of pushing all these colleges together? Is there more opportunity out there now for just more types of projects going on that students could be part of, or?
We're still working on how right now. It's the faculty that are working together in classrooms, but we're still working on how to kind of create a like a media unit, right? Media being design and advertising and video and film, whatever, bringing all of these things together so in a cohesive student unit. Kind of like a PR agency that does everything, right?
Right.
So we're still doing that, but the opportunities still exist, like the River Region Evening Edition. If you're for journalism and online journalism, there are lots of organizations within the School of Art and Design where students get to practice what they're being taught. Certainly, their choirs and ensembles in the School of Music. We'll take students from anywhere in the university, and those students do go to those things. So those all still exist. It's and because we're so young, we're not even a year old yet, but we're still working on how do we really bring our talents together on the faculty and staff to really serve the students too,
Yeah,
outside of the classroom.
I'm back on alumni. I mean, you take just in the the old college of the mass communication and media arts, how many alumni were working in those fields alone? But you add to that
Mm-hmm.
what was the College of Liberal Arts, which was the largest college itself at SIU beforehand. Factor the number of alumni working in that. There's just a massive amount of people who are currently out there working
Right,
in these
right,
things and have the opportunity to touch these student lives as they progress through school. And I know students are looking for those
right,
opportunities. So
right.
do reach out to Howard. Do reach out to the college as you consider what opportunities. I think it sounds like the doors are pretty open right now, especially that you're just kind of getting things off the ground to
Right.
get some stuff going.
Yeah, I think even acting as a mentor, just to have, there's Ask a Saluki. Being a part of Ask a Saluki and having a student who is, people do get nervous. You have an art education, and even in art education or music education, they're nervous about going out into the world, and so that any guidance that they can get from the folks who were out a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, on the trajectory that they have to follow. It's like, everybody wants to hear from the Saluki. So ask a Saluki, be a Saluki and tell. One thing I did want to mention, I remembered after when you were speaking in an opportunity for students, in one way that we're really trying to create a new culture within the college, is that we're taking over Kellogg Hall in Thompson Point, and it's going to become our living learning center. It's the College of Arts and Media Living Learning Center. So any student who wants to live on campus, live in a dormitory, and wants to live in that house, all those creative types, if you will be in that dormitory. So that's a new thing. We're working actually on interior design to create nicer spaces in there that look less dorm-like. So the students of interior design are actually working on designs for some of those spaces. We're looking for donations for things, like we would love to have a ping pong table in there for students to play with. And we're looking to upgrade all around. But, there are opportunities, and if anybody's interested in what those opportunities are, I'm happy to tell you what those are. We're always happy to get help from people on these things.
Yeah, and again, reach out to Howard, reach out to the college, and let them know. First off, take a look at what the College of Arts and Media does encompass. I know Howard mentioned it at first there, but we're not. It won't be on the quiz later, so you'll have to kind of remember it on your own as to what that is. You've been studying it for quite a while, so you
Right.
know what goes where in there. But
Right.
this is probably on a broader scale at the university. This is probably the first of several more reorganizations to kind of finalize and take form among the schools and colleges. And
Mm.
I know a lot or more of these will be happening as we go along. So do pay attention to what's going on, and this is kind of part of our effort to inform the alumni of what is taking place, particularly in a under kind of new banners like we're forming here
Mhm.
on campus. So, Howard, I'll give you the last word. Anything on the CamFest, on college in general, that you want to leave alumni with?
I think that we're all really excited. We actually had an alum come back, Mark Steftenagel, in design, who came back for our kickoff event for CampFest, and he talked about the excitement of that he felt for this college. We're excited about the possible collaborations within our faculty and with our students, but we're also excited about what we can get, how we can work with the alums. We are new, we're still getting the word out there, but we need to have conversations with you. So I would just say anybody who wants to chat about the arts or media and how we can all work together, give me a call.
All right, HG, thanks for taking some time today on your lunch hour to
Oh,
join
no
us, talk
worries.
with us, and best of luck on the rest of
Thank
CamFest.
you.
Hopefully, this is the start of something that'll just grow throughout the years, and probably be a pretty signature event for the university at one point, I would
That's what we're
imagine.
hoping for.
All
Right.
right. Well, everyone, thank you. Again, you can check out SIUalumni.com for pretty much anything else that's going on. Check out the College of Arts and Media. Check out SIU.edu just to find out what's new, because there are a lot of these types of changes happening on all over the university. So, HD, thanks for joining us today, and thank
Thank
you,
you,
everyone,
Caleb.
for watching for joining us. Have a good afternoon.